You are now listening to Take Two Podcast. All your latest TV and movie reviews, plus your Hollywood news, and of course, our Take Two. Here we go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 208 of your Take Two Podcast. This is the show that talks about that industry that used to exist where you went to see movies, and those are things that you sat in a room and they projected them on a screen and everyone enjoyed them and ate popcorn and laughed. Do you remember that? That was funny. That's not life anymore. Sorry, folks. I don't know why we do this show anymore, to be honest. Brian, how are you today?
I was thinking this could be like a celebratory 4 years of shows today, 208.
No.
But this is our last show because there is no more cinema, folks. We're done. Thank you. Good night.
There is no movies. What happens to movies?
I've got no place left to go.
Yeah.
For today, we've got 5 good reviews for you guys, a lot of casting that we're going to talk about, a great interview with an actor named Johnny Alonso earlier on, and then some news. Tony's alluding to the worst news of the week, but maybe we'll have some positive later on. I don't know. Stick around for that. DC, Marvel, and going forward, all the stuff in between. It should be a fun show to say at the very least, even if it is our last.
Yeah, definitely, because we're both a little loopy, too, a little behind the scenes. We haven't been sleeping that much, and we're recording kind of off of our schedule again. Again, please bear with us, folks, as these schedules are being a little funky for us in the near future, but we're here. We're not going to miss a week. We're still going to talk about what we love, and that's movies, even if a movie from 27 years ago is in the box office. We don't care. We're still going to talk about it.
Some promotions for Take Two Podcast stuff, guys. You've got old Bob Zemeckis. He's in your Take Two Spotlight feed right now. Check that out. I noticed the numbers. It was decently downloaded over the weekend. That means a few of you folks have already listened. The rest of you, you better catch up because you're missing out. We rave about Mr. Robert Zemeckis. Go listen to that now. We also have our YouTube page.
I find
I
was going to say, I find usually with our episodes, when you check our downloads, you just never know what you're going to get. So... Okay, go ahead.
It's my fault because I took a sip of my drink knowing you were setting up a punchline, and then you nailed it, and then it almost spit, and yeah, that was awkward. I almost nailed my microphone 2 weeks in a row. Okay. YouTube, subscribe to that because we've got all of our recent interviews on there and trying to figure out how to do some quick reviews in a different style for you guys as well, and a whole bunch of other stuff that we put on there, including our show, which you're listening to now. If you need YouTube as an avenue, they will be there. Patreon, we finished up our props, our movie set pieces. You know, we had 2 episodes there with vehicles and weapons. Go back, check those out. The only way you can do that, though, is if you are a Patreon subscriber. To do that, it's as low as $1 per month. That's it. Patreon.com, Take Two Podcast. You get all previous content and then at least bi-monthly content going forward. So you're getting at least 2 episodes, all sorts of fun, unique stuff, some deep dives into some really unique topics, and then some personal stuff from Tony and myself.
And we're going to need that money, apparently, because we need to replace a wet mic once a week. So that's a lot of money. So please help us out, folks.
I would like to send a couple of shout-outs. One to all of our patrons. Thank you very much for joining, and tell your friends about us. We would enjoy that. Brian was championing our show hard at our job to a couple of other guys. And one of them, Antonio, said, you know what? I'm a big movie guy. And he kind of, like, low-key tried to, like, test me on it. He was like, well, what about He was like, well, I'm watching this show called Lovecraft Country. Heard of it? And I was like, yeah. Have you ever seen a zombie with both boobies and a ding dong? Because I did. That was 2 episodes ago. Whatever. Anyway, nice. But Antonio, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening to us. I'd like to give a sad shout out. We lost a listener. We lost a Take Two listener. Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
One of our patrons, Kevin, who is one of our Patreon subscribers, his puppy Everett, 3 years old, died last weekend. So rest in peace, Everett.
Sorry.
We will miss you. Sorry, Everett.
Yeah, I was going to make a joke, but now I can't. So
No, sorry. Yeah. Sorry to go on the downer. But for the rest of you folks, join on the Patreon, jump onto all of our other feeds, and don't forget the socials at Take Two Podcast. Is the Twitter, take2podcast@gmail.com for if you want to email us, or phone call 434-602-1931. Guys, I took the weekend off. Tony controlled everything, and I caught up yesterday doing my notes, and I was like, oh, that's a lot of stuff that we put onto our Facebook page. So even I was wowed by how much stuff that we were sharing onto the socials.
Yeah, no, I hope you enjoyed your time away. It was important. You had some family stuff to do, and I hope you were able to enjoy it without having to worry about doing that stuff. So,
power of love, brother. And if I can go on a quick mask-wearing mother effing tangent, okay? My brother got married. He found his bride. You know, you celebrated 17 years of love just 2 weeks ago. My brother just started his. I'm so happy for them. They still kept the wedding date that they did. Everything was beautiful. It was insane. They had a sunset behind them. It was an outdoor thing. The pictures, I can't wait to see them. And then his bride, my new sister-in-law, owns a pub nearby. And so we just went there afterwards. But it was restricted, obviously, to just close family. So we had a total of 12 people here for their wedding. That's it. And I said to my sister, like halfway through, I was like, I feel horrible for them because we're in the state of the world that we are because jerks won't wear their masks and make things better. And so therefore, here's their wedding. Her beautiful day she's dreamt about for her entire life. And it's just the 12 of us sitting, and that's it. It should be this big party, this big celebration. You know what I mean? But so I felt like bad. I felt very bittersweet. But other than that, the wedding was gorgeous. That's my tangent soapbox mask wearing for the week.
I feel the other way because I feel like I could probably only remember maybe 12 people that I really truly interacted with at my wedding. So I feel like that's fine. You know, like you get to spend more quality time with the people that really mean the most to you. So that's good. Look at it that way.
That's valid. Yeah. Okay. That's
and
not
also, I don't know if you saw, our stable genius told us that we should not let the virus dominate us. We should not live in fear. So your brother was stupid. He should have had a big 100-person wedding. I don't know what he was thinking.
On that note, folks, let's move on to our poll results.
All right, so we ran the poll this weekend. It is now October. You are allowed to watch your spooky movies, Brian. It's allowed now. So I wanted to put up a poll about the what are you watching, basically, this month, because there's a couple big releases. I wanted to hit kind of all the major streaming services and give an option for each of them. So Mandalorian, Season 2, dropping on Disney Plus at the end of the month. Borat, Part 2, which we were going to talk about a little later in trailers and such. That's launching on Amazon Prime. And then On the Rocks is hitting Apple Plus. And Trial the Chicago 7, which a lot of people are talking up as a Oscar-y kind of frontrunner movie, that's hitting Netflix this month. So a lot of big releases, a lot of buzzy movies coming out. And shows, I guess. And the big winner of the weekend was Mandalorian 2. I don't think that's really any shock. You know, I think that is kind of the big one that people are looking forward to the most. But that won pretty easily, 68% of the vote.
Wow.
On Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was surprised by that. Only 3% for On the Rocks. I guess people don't like Bill Murray movies. Like, what's wrong with you people? Come on, get in there. And yeah, so I guess that was the only thing that really surprised me of the poll. And then over on Instagram, we got a couple shout-outs as well for Mandalorian Season 2 from Sam. And Michelle is excited to see On the Rocks, so thank you, Michelle. She's been, since we gave her an interview, she's been interacting every week, so thank you so much for that. I do want to shout out one more interaction we got, and this is from Kenny Starmaker Bolin. Did you see this?
No, Starmaker.
So he's a blue-checked, verified account with 10,000 followers. He followed us after this, too, and he said it's a landslide, and I chose the right one. So I'm guessing he chose Mandalorian is what his choice was. But this guy is from, it says Kentucky. He spent 33 years in professional wrestling. It says he's a WWE Hall of Fame mentionee, which I thought was funny. And then he's the I Probably Screwed You Too. And he spent 18 seasons on the Bolin Alley podcast, and he is in the OVW Hall of Fame. So I'm not really sure who Kenny Starmaker Bolin is. Seems like he's a big name in the underground wrestling world, I guess. So thanks for the follow, thanks for the shout out, and sharing the polls.
Yeah.
There you go. Blue check, baby.
Effing celebrity is what he is. It sounds like the Starmaker. Nice. Congrats to him. Nice. I'm sure there's a couple of
they probably know who he is. Yeah.
Screaming.
I saw him at something, right whatever. Yeah. So what would you have voted for though? Of those four options, did you vote?
I did vote, and my obvious answer is Mando. So I therefore
I'm kind of the same way. I'm right there,
Chicago
lockstep with you. Obviously, we want to see Mandalorian, but I think Trial of Chicago 7 is probably the next. So I'm surprised that Borat was number 2 because I feel like I'd rather see Trial of Chicago 7. But we'll talk about that a little later in our trailer discussions.
Yes, we will. Okay, this literally might be the final box office that we do, guys. And I hate to say that, but we tried to bring it back, just like the cinema. We tried to resurrect it, but it's on life support. What do you got for it?
Your box office results. Well, I mean, we gave it like some dimethyltryptamine, whatever, Regeneron, all these things, and it felt the best it had felt in 20 years. But then, I don't know, sadly, it just went away again after this weekend. So I think this is the last week I'm going to try and report on the box office because it is really useless at this point. But number 1 was Tenet. No shock. This is the movie everybody can see. This is the only new release really out. Made another $2.7 million. It's at 45 domestic. Whew, that is a rough number. 45 domestic really does show why we're seeing the news that we're seeing and what we're going to get to a little bit later with release date changes and things like that. So that's not doing well. However, it is at 307 worldwide. And remember, we said 450 was that number it needed to break even. So it's slowly chipping away, at that 450. So we'll see.
Wait.
Do you think it can get there? 307? That's still a long ways to go.
No, I was doubtful early on, and I didn't think we'd be this bad at this point. I think we said it would flirt with it and probably get it maybe, but now it's not looking great at all. Only 307?
No. Yeah, worldwide. And I, like I said, last week I saw some rumors about this being on, PVOD, whatever stuff in December. So if that happens, it's going to be out of the theaters before then. But the thing I was alluding to earlier today when we were opening the show is Hocus Pocus was number 2 with 1.93 million. 1.93 million for the weekend. You can put this on. It's on Disney Plus. It was on Freeform all weekend. I can't believe this thing was second in the box office this weekend. 27 years old. And actually, from what I read, it was in the lead on Friday. It was actually ahead of Tenet on Friday.
Dang. Nolan went out and rented out a couple of theaters. He was like, we can't lose.
He's like, yeah, we will not lose to the Sanderson sisters. Not going to happen.
Jeez.
All right, book. But then the other things of note for the weekend were Possessor is a new release. That was number 8. Only made $250,000 in 320 theaters. And number 10 was Save Yourselves, $143,000 in 388 theaters, which that released in theaters just for the weekend, and then it's already available on PVOD now. So I will have a review for you on that one next week. I did not have time to watch it, so I'm going to try and catch up with that. And I believe Possessor is also being put on demand. So it seems like a lot of these films that are kind of smaller and getting released right now, that's all they're doing. They're just like, let me get like a day or a week or however long I can of theatrical, and it's not very deep, and then it's going to be PVOD right away. So that's why I said we should pretty much just let go of the box office for now. So unless there's any big news coming, in the next couple of weeks, we'll probably skip this segment.
So long, box office. It's good to know you. 5 big reviews for you guys. We're going to rock them out real quick and fast, and we're going to lead things off with Tony got to watch American Murder.
Yeah, I had myself a little, Netflix documentary kind of week here. It actually, truth be told, it was kind of a slow week for me. I really had a lot of things planned I wanted to get to, and I just didn't have the time. As far as, my schedule was busy, so I didn't have time to sit down and watch a lot. But the few things I did watch were somewhat intriguing. And this was American Murder, Family Next Door. That was the name of it. It's on Netflix. It's a true crime doc. But the different thing here is that it is done using only footage that was either available on Facebook, this family's Facebook page, or personal text messages, body camera footage from the police, interview footage from the police, courtroom testimony, things like that. There are no interviews, no reenactments.
Wow.
It's all used from that kind of stuff they cobbled together. So to me, it was interesting that they did that, interesting format. It was about 82 minutes long, so almost an hour and a half, basic runtime of a movie.
Sure.
At first I thought it was going to be like a multi-episode documentary series, but I guess they just went this route instead. So I thought that was intriguing. It's about the 2018 case of the Watts family, and spoiler alert if you want to watch it, I feel like you probably already know, but the husband did it. So I didn't feel like this was any shocker watching it, so I don't know that that's really honestly, is that really a spoiler? We all knew it was going to be the husband.
Yeah, sure.
So I didn't think it was any spoilers there or shocking that he did it, but it was interesting to show the way that they unfolded the case using, like I said, the Facebook videos, the text messages, all that kind of stuff. It was kind of cool, different approach. Quick, easy watch, so check it out if you get a chance. It's, whatever. I didn't love it, but it was interesting.
Okay. I mean, you sold me on the under an hour and a half. You kind of had me sold there, so.
Yeah. So if you're into that stuff, it's there for you. The more thought-provoking thing I watched this weekend, and probably the best reviewed thing I'm going to give you of the weekend, is Dick Johnson is Dead. And this is on Netflix right now. Documentary. It is about a woman who is struggling with her dad's descent into Alzheimer's. She's already lost her mother to Alzheimer's, and they kind of talk about that, and they say how the last couple of years, she wasn't who she used to be, and blah, 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 So now they know that her dad is kind of going down the same road, and she has a filmmaking background. So she decided, I want to chronicle him as a man now before we lose more of him, and have that recorded. So it's very heartbreaking, but also touching to watch and to see their relationship and how important it is for her to document him as a man and have that long-lasting thing. So, but then in the midst of this, they're making this, they decide to do these sequences where she films different scenarios of him actually dying, and they use like stuntmen and stuff. Like there's one that, and they're very like fantastical and the way that they're done. And there's scenes of him like they think he's in heaven or whatever, and like meeting Jesus and all this stuff. And they filmed all this stuff, and it's kind of injected into the documentary. These little fantastical scenes. So it's kind of fun and different in that way. And I guess that's just her way of like dealing with it. Like if I see my dad, dying already these different ways, this many different times, it kind of helps me deal with that blow, I think is like her idea, So it's almost like therapy for her in a way. So there's like scenes of him walking down the street and an air conditioner falls on him, and they're using these like stuntmen to film these things. It's actually kind of fun, and the dad is into it and kind of playful and having fun with it. They do like a setup of his funeral and film that, like he's laying in a casket in the church and has everybody around. So that was kind of creepy at the same time to see, but like I said, just a real heartwarming watch, but also it got me in the feels, it got me in the emotions. And this man just seems like such a sweet man. And I really feel for the family and a lot of families out there that deal with the same thing with Alzheimer's, and dementia, all these different diseases that just take away your loved ones and you don't know who they are anymore. I kind of dealt with a similar thing. My grandfather died of Parkinson's, and the last few years that he had Parkinson's, he was not who I remembered. And you hate to have that as your last memory of a person. So like I said, this is a good way to document her father when he was still like somewhat normal, and then she always has this living document of him, which is great. So I thought it was a really good watch. I highly recommend it to everybody. I would actually not be surprised if this got Oscar nominated for documentaries, because I thought it was really brilliant and an original concept and well done.
Nice, very nice. All right, well, I'm gonna keep the high recommendations rolling, and I'm gonna tell you, Tony, this show that I'm about to chat about is my favorite thing I've watched so far in 2020.
Wow! Whoa! That's
number
high
one.
Praise. That's high praise.
Yes, number one. Ted Lasso just wrapped up.
Wait a minute! You didn't say this is the Apple correspondence.
I
Come on.
actually was, but this is your Apple correspondence for the week. Ted Lasso. It just wrapped up 10 episodes. They are all 30 minutes or less each. They're just quick comedy. It has so much charm, so much chemistry. It is so fun. Watch the show, the first 3 episodes are funny, and I think I gave it the first take, 7 weeks ago, and said it's good, it's funny, it's cute, and it sucks you in with kind of like a uniqueness and the characters you can't help but root for type deal. Episode 4 takes a turning point to change from just like a cute, fun comedy to a legit show that you're invested in and want to see what happens with all of these characters. It takes a little bit of a turn where you're like, holy crap, I did not see that coming. That's a twist, and now I really am pulling for this guy. I'm really cheering for that guy. I don't want to give anything away, because you can knock this thing out quick. Again, 10 eps, they're all under 30 minutes each. Jason Sudeikis, I feel like this role is written and created for him. The show is created mostly by your boy Bill Lawrence, folks from Scrubs and Spin City, whatever. It's good, man. It's so good. Hannah Waddingham, I don't know. She's an English actress. Jeremy Swift as well. Brendan Hunt. Brendan Hunt was in Horrible Bosses 2, a couple of other things, so he's worked with Sudeikis before. His and Sudeikis' chemistry together is hilarious. Like, they could have their own spinoff with just the two of them in random conversations. Like, there's entire scenes of them doing that word association thing where you start saying a word wrong and then it doesn't sound like a word. Like, if you're saying road, but then it's road. Exactly, that whole thing. Like, it's that type of just funny comedy, like actual conversational comedy that you have just randomly on the street, and they throw it out there all the time. I loved it, not gonna lie. After episode 4, then I was like, holy crap, I gotta get the wife on it. Got her on it. She fell in love with it too. She fully agrees it's the favorite thing she's watched so far this year. We watched it week by week together. It's got a lot of heart, a lot of charm. I highly recommend watching Ted Lasso on Apple TV.
Nice. Yeah, I love the Bill Lawrence comedy. I was a big fan of Scrubs, and I love Sudeikis. Anytime I see Sudeikis, he's one of those people that I'm like, ooh, I want to watch it now more because he's part of it. So I've heard you talking high praise about this. This may have to be something I check out down the road on the Apple Plus, but I'm just still on the fence about paying for another service, man. That's all.
I feel you. Maybe after October when your Shudder thing expires. Maybe.
There you go. I can justify it, yeah.
We can roll you into it. Okay, we're wrapping things up here. Here's something that we both got to watch. Here is our first take for the week, and that is our first take on Fargo Season 4.
Yes. And I love Fargo. I've been a champion of the show since it started. I mean, let's go back even further. I love the movie. The movie's fantastic.
Sure.
When I heard they were coming out of the show, I was all on board. Noah Hawley is also a very smart showrunner and creator. I liked his work on Legion on FX as well. So I was like, this is perfect. Perfect combination of, classic Coen Brothers idea, dark comedy kind of thing, and they're going to do it anthology style. I was totally in on the show. Loved seasons 1 through 3. My only problem with this show up to that point was just that they take too damn long in between seasons. The first 2 seasons were like back to back. Then they took like a 2-year break between season 2 and 3, and then this one between season 3 and 4 was like a 3-year break. So it's crazy. But like I said, it's an anthology style, so each season stands on its own, in my opinion. There's some minor things that might tie it together, but really overall, you could pick up season 4 and just get right into it. So season 4 opens in 1950, Kansas City. It's telling the crime story of, it kind of gives you a little intro credits where they show like the history of the crime in Kansas City and how, it starts with the Jews.
Which I loved.
Yeah, that was great. It starts with the Jews, and they go against the Irishmen, and the Irishmen move in and take over. Then the Italians show up, and they have to go together. And then finally the blacks move in, and then it's blacks versus Italians is basically like what sets up this storyline of 1950 Kansas City crime. Great way to start the season off. Chris Rock is starring in it, Jason Schwartzman, Jesse Buckley, Ben Whishaw, Jack Houston. I was only able to watch the first 2 episodes. I know the 3rd episode just dropped on Sunday. I gotta say, so far, I'm impressed with Chris Rock. He's great. I like seeing him do stuff like this. But I love Jason Schwartzman. I think he's great so far. And Jessie Buckley. Like, her storyline so far isn't really tied into, like, the main story as much. But I love what she's doing. Mm-hmm. I think she's chewing up the scenery every time she's on screen. And she's fantastic. We just talked about her a couple weeks ago when I reviewed I'm Thinking of Ending Things, and I think she's really one of those actresses to watch. If you haven't seen Wild Rose, go back and watch Wild Rose. She's great in that, and she's phenomenal in the show, so I can't wait to get into it and keep watching more episodes. But what did you think? I mean, you've never watched Fargo before at all, right?
Correct, yeah. So, I mean, the movie, obviously, and loved the movie, and then I didn't do any of the 3 seasons, but from hearing you rave about it, I sort of knew, and I confirmed with you that I would be able to just jump onto 4. Because I really did want to watch this. I wanted to see how Chris Rock did, and I was going into it kind of fresh, if you will, not knowing what timeline and stuff we're going into. So, and you did confirm that you can just jump into 4. Now, when it's all said and done, let me know if it does connect to things in the past. You know what I mean? Because if I find that time, I wouldn't mind going back and watching seasons 1 through 3. I echo everything you said. Rock, I'm just going to give it the season to let it play out. I am liking him, but not loving him. But Schwartzman is knocking it out of the park. I'm with you. I've only seen 2 episodes so far. He's been fantastic. I'll re-say again, the opening to the very first episode when they just go all the way back to 1900, then to 1914, then to 1930, whatever. Yeah. I was just like, this is fun. I'm like watching a little mobster, the history of the mob. And
it was like Gangs of New York or something,
Yeah. So I was digging all of that, and so the show right now is like a little mob movie. I'm watching a little mob thing, and I love that, and so that's my genre that I'm a fan of. So I'm loving it. The girl, and I shoot, I forgot to write the actress's name down. Shoot, I forgot the younger girl, the younger black girl who's now.
Oh yeah. I don't have her name down either, but she is really good on the show. I still don't quite know exactly how she's going to tie into the overall story, but I like what they're doing with her.
Yeah, that was my thought. Like I feel like something's going to happen down the road with her, so I really want to pay attention. And you're right, Jessie Buckley, man, she's like so weird. You can't take your eyes off of her character. It's like so wild, and the language and vernacular that she speaks is crazy. I'm really digging it, man. I'm glad, and this is going to make me want to go back and watch the other seasons as well. But I'm in on it. Now here's my issue, which I found out. My Hulu subscription is like the base.
Oh, so you don't have the FX stuff or whatever?
Well, I get the commercials. So.
Oh, okay, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah, episode 1 I didn't. I was like, oh, cool. And then episode 2 I started getting commercials.
Well, do you have cable at home still or no?
No, we're Roku.
Oh, I was gonna say you could. Okay. I was gonna say I record it off there, but I watch it on the app, and I didn't have commercials, so I guess I have a better quality Hulu subscription than you do. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that just needs to be the answer. I just need to upgrade the Hulu. But yeah, I'm in, man. I like it. I'm digging it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the thing I love the most about this show is they fall in that like 10, 11 episode range every season 2, which is like perfect. It's not too little. It's not too much. It's the right range. It's brilliantly written. I feel like each character has their own distinct voice, their own kind of style of talking and comedy and action and whatever. Every character is different. I love that. It's so well written, and I think it's just shot beautifully. It feels cinematic. It feels like you're watching a little movie every week. The score, the soundtrack really adds to the experience as well. I love it, and I do suggest you go back and watch each season. Each season is worth it. Some are better than others, but I wouldn't say that any of them are necessarily bad. So I think everybody should get on Fargo and definitely watch season 4. But I'm with you on Rock. I think we're gonna have to wait for the whole season to see, because at this point he's not giving like a full on. I haven't seen any real super emotional scenes or anything like that. I hope he does bring that to us at some point.
Episode 216, we should have a full season review for you folks, as long as Tony and I are able to keep up with it on time. If not, just wait one more week till 217, and we'll have a full breakdown of season 4 of
I plan on
Fargo.
it.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. So if it stays even as it is now, we'll definitely keep up. So.
Well, and let me sell you on a couple things then. So if you're liking Jessie Buckley here, because you didn't watch the I'm Thinking of Ending Things, right?
No.
The Netflix thing?
No, that you just reviewed. No.
Yeah, so she is good in that, but I'm telling you, watch Wild Rose. You will love Wild Rose. I think it's right up your alley, and I think she is phenomenal in it, and I'm telling you, she is an actress to watch. So that's my homework for you. Go watch that movie.
Jessie Buckley Spotlight coming out soon.
There you go. And then also, if I could just sell you real quick on the other seasons of Fargo, because those were on a few years ago. The first season, Billy Bob Thornton is fantastic in it. Get back into that. It's got Billy Bob Thornton, Colin Hanks, Martin Freeman. They're like the stars of that season.
Oh, okay.
Season 2, Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons. That's where they met and later got married from working on the show together. Patrick Wilson also, Ted Danson. That's a really good season. And then season 3 has Ewan McGregor playing dual roles, as well as Carrie Coon and Mary Elizabeth Winstead and David Thewlis. So fantastic cast on each season. I think they're all worth your time. Go back and watch them all.
I might watch a Tenet style. I would like season 3's cast better than I might go backwards. Kirsten Dunst, Jesse Plemons. Who's winning that in that relationship?
I don't know. I think he married above, I would say. I don't know.
Yeah, I get, but I don't know. I just think he's such a great actor. Like that.
Sure.
He has such a nice personality.
Okay, let's wrap up our reviews here. You got to watch Scare Me.
Yeah, this is a new release on Shudder. I recently got the Shudder subscription because I wanted to catch up on some horror movies for October and whatnot. And this is their new release. This actually came out in Sundance in January and hit the festival circuit, but this is now the official PVOD or whatever release, if you want to call it, since theaters are closed. So this is Scare Me, and it is written, directed, and co-starring Josh Rubin, which I didn't really find anything else that he had done that I recognized. So he's kind of not really a first-timer, but not really that well-known. And then co-star Aya Cash, who we may know from The Boys Season 2. We're loving her work currently over there. Yeah, so I checked this out. This is basically two authors they meet each other in this kind of cabin-type situation out in the woods, in the wilderness. They're both kind of doing like a writer's retreat almost thing on their own. Let me go off to the woods and write for a while. And they meet each other while they're out due to the simple fact that they lose power there. So then they kind of get together to tough it out through the power outage together, and while they're doing this, they decide to kind of tell stories to each other, and they try and scare each other with their stories. And it's kind of fun the way that they do it, because stuff almost like comes true in the room, like you see it, like your imagination coming to life in the room as they're telling the stories, which was kind of fun. Like they'll be talking about a werewolf or a monster or something, and you'll see like a shadow of it on the wall, or so it's kind of fun, like just telling spooky stories around a campfire kind of feel to it. And then they also add in Chris Redd. If you know Chris Redd from SNL, he shows up to deliver pizza, and then he kind of sticks around and like joins in and tells the stories with them for a little bit. So he was kind of fun, kind of little fun injection into the story. It's kind of dry humor, and then near the end it goes down the route of like drug and alcohol induced kind of thing. It's got a meta element to it for sure, because there's a lot of commentary on like other horror movies and things like that. So they know about all these other horror movies and things like that and comment on them. So that's kind of fun. Whatever. It's a real small cast, and it kind of at the very end gets to that like little creepy, scary element. But otherwise, it didn't really do that much for me. So I thought it was okay. It was more of a comedy than it was a scary movie. So maybe that's more up your alley. But I guess I'd hoped for more. Yeah, I guess I just hoped for more. A little over an hour and a half long, I guess, but I don't know. I hoped it would be better, but it was okay. So if you have the Shudder, check out Scare Me, their new release. And I'm telling you, I do enjoy that Aya Cash, though. She definitely sells the movie hard, more than anybody. So she's worth the price of admission right there.
Okay, I might be getting the Shudder for other things that we discussed off air.
Ooh.
So if I do, then maybe I'll jump on. Maybe.
At least the 7-day trial. It's worth it. I give everybody.
Right.
Everybody should do the 7-day trial. And if you do, can I recommend something else I watched? It's called Cursed Films. It actually came out in April, so I didn't review it on the show because I just recently watched it. But it's a 5-episode documentary series about different cursed movies. So they get into the making of like The Exorcist and Poltergeist and The Omen, a couple of these movies that have like things that happened on set or outside of the set that then, they have a legacy around these movies now that they're cursed. So I thought that was kind of a fun little docu-series, half-hour episodes each. It blew by. So
cool.
Check that out too if you get the trial. Yeah.
I got to sit down with another amazing actor. It keeps getting better and better each and every week. I hope who we had first didn't hear me say that because that makes them bad. Anyway, sorry, Michelle.
Yeah, there goes Michelle's interactions.
I know. But Johnny Alonso is an actor. He's actually from this area, from the Baltimore area, and then he moved on to bigger and better things, moved away from us up to New York and LA and what have you. And I got to chat with him for quite a while, so therefore chopped up the audio a little bit. Here are the highlights of my chat with Mr. Johnny Alonso. If you want the full interview, I recommend you go on over to YouTube, watch the entire interview that he and I sat down together. It's a little over 20 minutes long, but it is well worth it, especially if there are any actors listening to our show. Johnny and I really jump into what it's like to be an actor today, what it was like for him coming up in the business and behind the scene things. And then there's a lot of good stuff in there because he's on set right now filming Outer Banks. And he goes into what it's like with COVID protocols. How you're in your trailer and then you're immediately taken to set, and then there's temperature checks and masks, and it's weird because you're wearing a mask, but you had your makeup done, so now you got to redo your makeup, but that lady's not allowed to touch you, and all sorts of nuances. That is now what it's like to be on set today as an actor. So kind of cool stuff, kind of nerdy actor stuff, which I enjoy, of course. So here is a little bit of the interview with myself and Mr. Johnny Alonso. So Johnny, first of all, how you been?
I'm well, Paisan. It's been a while, man. How's everything with you?
Things are going great. We're rocking. No matter what the world throws at us, we can still create some art. And luckily now I think things are starting to get back to where we can get out, get onto sets, get filming. And I think you know that more than anybody right now. At least things are kind of moving back in a positive direction, right?
Yeah, they are. I mean, yeah, COVID's definitely, it's put a nice, stab into the industry. But I mean, I've been very lucky. I mean, fall pilot season, as you know, in Los Angeles, between September and December is fall pilot season. So it's not pilot season like in January. This is more for television. And literally in the past 2 weeks, I've had 11 auditions, self-tape auditions. You're not going into casting anymore. You're submitting stuff either via Zoom or, self-tape through your agent. And I'm here on location in South Carolina. I just booked the Netflix series Outer Banks. So I've got a cool co-starring role. Very excited. We'll talk about that later. Okay. But literally, man, everything's changed on set. It's TV guide version, couple minutes. When you've been on set.
Yeah.
Where you get to socialize, you hang out. Once you get through hair and makeup, you can watch them film. Just be very, very quiet. Not anymore. Right now, they have literally 3 zones: red zone, yellow zone, green zone. Red zone is basically for holding. Yellow zone is for hair and makeup and for wardrobe. And, if you're like a co-star or a supporting lead or whatever, like myself on this show, you go back to your trailer. You do not fraternize. You don't hang on set. You're pretty much isolated in your trailer. And then once you're ready to get on set, they take you to green zone. And green zone is only the director, the first AD, and the actors, no one else. It's very different. Very different.
I like it. I'm glad when you used me as an example, you didn't say hair and makeup, you just said makeup, but that's fine.
You funny, dude.
So last question with COVID stuff, and then we'll move into some more positive stuff, because at the end of the day, we're working and that's a positive. So is everybody masked? Are you getting tested? Temperatures, like
everything, brother.
Yeah.
Everything you just mentioned. When you're on set, brother, I don't care if you're in the red zone, yellow zone, green zone, you're always wearing a mask until they are saying, okay, actors rehearsal. That's when you take your mask off. Now, the problem with always wearing the mask, of course, once you go through makeup,
Yeah.
it gets all over your mask. So they always have to keep retouching your face with, the makeup lady or the makeup person has to come back on in the green zone. It's not like it used to be with makeup. They just come up and do your thing. Everybody has now their separate bag of makeup. It's really, really, really detailed these days, man. So,
all right, folks, we did Take Two podcast here. We're chatting with actor Johnny Alonso. You might recognize him from Dawson's Creek, One Tree Hill. He had some recurring roles there. A movie called Safe House, Coffin, Coffin Part 2. Soon Coffin Part 3, maybe even Gotham. You got to be on. I was so jealous, man. I loved Gotham, and when I saw that you booked it, I was like, I gotta watch Sword. And you're the Penguins band, right? You're like in his band, his little house band.
I was awesome. Kaz. I was the bass player in Penguins house band at Iceberg Lounge. Robin Lord Taylor is one of the coolest dudes to ever hang out with, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And every time the other show that I do hosting for, Click on This, whenever we if there's a chance to meet him or like do an interview, he's always like Johnny Alonso. We always do interviews, so he's
nice.
He's super cool. The whole cast of Gotham, everyone on the show is about as genuine as you would think they are. They are one of the nicest groups I've ever worked with.
Very cool. That's awesome. Okay, so I want to go backwards. I want to go way backwards. We're gonna do some Click on This, but I want to go way backwards. It's 1992.
Okay.
And a young Johnny A has booked a CBS after school special as your first. This is your first IMDb credit, and then from there we've taken off from there.
Taken off. Yes, Sexual Considerations, a Hallmark after school special. What a great name. Huh?
Does that sound about right?
No, you hit it on the head. It's hard to surprise casting directors in New York and Los Angeles. Right. That's what you're trying to say. There's no question. They've seen it all. Seriously, they've seen it all. They've seen all the tricks. They all know that. Okay, are you ready? And you start scratching your head. They know what you're doing. They know you're trying to catch their attention. So you can't fool them. The only way you're going to book or get a call back is to impress them with your acting. That's veteran acting. And I'm talking veteran because there's so many actors out there that think and claim that they're actors. They're not, they're budding actors but they want that high status. Well, if you keep trying to impress a casting director or trying to impress the room, but your skills are not there, you're really just shooting yourself in the foot. Bringing in props, wearing sunglasses on your forehead. Dude, nobody cares about that.
Sure.
And that doesn't work. You need to come in. The job is called acting. You got to come in as an actor. Right. So, if you're coming in, if you audition, example, if Brian auditions for a priest role in Los Angeles or in New York, you don't come in with the collar. You come in with an attitude. You come in with that spirit drive. You come in with something that shows not necessarily a priest, or whatever, but something there that they see in their minds like, oh, he's perfect for that role. That's how you book, or that's how at least you get callbacks. That's how I get callbacks. Yeah.
There you go, folks. Actor, producer, and soon-to-be acting coach, Johnny Alonso, with his advice that he just gave you for free. You're welcome. Click on This. Click on This is basically a magazine online that you guys do. It's an interview-style show started back in 2011.
I mean, I've done about maybe 70 episodes. I'm the first host on that show. I'm the longest-standing host with Elena Muscat, our chancellor. She's the greatest. And I've been with her since day one. I am the longest running host. And I've had such a blast getting on location with her. I've shot everywhere in the country with her. And with our team, we've gone to Sundance. We've gone to New York's Fashion Week. I've shot all over Los Angeles, of course, as I'm out there. We've shot in the South, Texas, everywhere, South by Southwest, whatever it may be. And then, of course, with COVID, like anything else, dead stop, grinding halt. Mm-hmm. So we were like, you know what, man, we're going to have to think of something because this show, as you called it, it is like an online magazine. It's a pop culture show. And in order to stay active, you got to be in the mix. So Alana switched gears and said, you know what, man, we're just going to start interviewing everyone online, have my favorite hosts really do their work and just do it from their home studio. So the cool thing about it is that we've been interviewing people now in the UK, in Asia, in Europe, all over. Nice. Yeah, so it's really broadened our episodes, with some really cool subjects. But I really do miss going to the rock concerts. I miss going to like Merriweather Post Pavilion and back in Columbia, for just like South by, whatever, just for all the shows, and meeting these, I've interviewed so many rock stars and celebs. I love meeting them in person. But things will come back. I feel confident about it. The world will heal, and Click on This will be back on the road again.
Clickonthis.tv is where you can find it.
So that project's going to be taking off in Florida in November. Once we're done that, I just put out a teaser trailer for another movie that we just shot called Last Call.
Okay.
Last Call is an anthology film, which is comprised of 4 different stories. And each story is like darker than the last one. I mean, it's a very, very psychosomatic kind of film. And we'll be shooting, I think, that the 3rd chapter in Atlanta in January. The 2nd chapter that I shot was shot back home, man, in Baltimore. I shot it in Baltimore. Oh, yeah. And we're still going to be wrapping that up. I'm going to love to have you on set. Maybe I can pull you in. So, yeah, good. That's what I want to hear. So, yeah, I got that. We got Last Call. I've got Harvey. We just finished up a Hallmark-type film called Legacy of Love.
Okay.
I've been very busy because, during COVID, I mean, I'm hyperactive as it is, if you can't tell. So I can't sit still, man. And to be honest with you, for 20 years of my career, I have never stopped working. I've always been doing something. So once COVID hit, I didn't know how to sit still. So I decided not to sit still and just keep all the contacts hot with the casting directors and exec producers that I know. And we got this thing passed. So, and that's why now I'm on fire. I'm nonstop. I just got to get some sleep and stay healthy. That's all I got to do.
I remember there was a running gag kind of going with some of the old Safe House production folks that we don't chat with necessarily as much anymore, but it was kind of like, where's Johnny now? Like people were just kind of like, what'd you hear from Johnny? I was like, oh man, he's in Southern Cal right now. I was like, oh man, last week I just saw him. He was down in Florida. He was in here. He's working.
It's true. It's true, man. It's like, a good friend of mine, Herb Becker. He's like, yeah, man, I just spoke to Johnny Alonso, and then I just saw him. He's now on the road heading to North Carolina. How is he doing this?
Yeah.
Part of the job, bro, as you know, home is where you hang your hat. You've got to travel in this industry. And don't think for one second that, everything's just going to happen, in your little bubble. You have to move. Because if you're everywhere, it's a presence. It's how you handle yourself. But it's really more about how you handle yourself as a pro.
You can find Johnny on Instagram, Johnny Alonso, easy to find there, as well as on Twitter. JohnnyAlonso.com is his website. Scroll through that IMDb page and you'll find a litany. Listen, I was going through and I was like, all right, hipster, cool guy, detective, villain, creepy villain. He wore a mask. Then you were Batman in a fan film one time, or you're Bruce Wayne at least?
I was, God, what was that? Batman Master of Fear. Yeah. It was pretty cool, dude. I got to learn some real great stage combat, karate, and like it's all dance movings, that's what we always call it. It's definitely combat. I mean, you're hitting each other, but you have your stunt coordinator. It's all a dance routine. As long as you know the timing, and that's where musicians actually really, their talent of timing and, for playing really helps with choreography, because James Dean used to say that all the time. In order to be a great actor, you have to have the lively arts within you, because, when your director says, all right, you got to block. I need you here, you got to hit this light at this time. It's all timing. So your timing as an actor, really plays a big part, because if you help the director, you get your job done. You do their job if you do your job properly. Yeah.
Listen, be on time, and keep moving forward. There's some phenomenal advice for all actors and just in general in life.
In general.
Yeah. Johnny Alonso, folks, you can find him. We'll tag him on all of our socials. Thank you, sir, for joining Take Two Podcast. I very much so appreciate it. And once some of these things get booked and out there, come back on and we can then send people your way again.
I most definitely will, man. Hey, listen, I've enjoyed everything, man. You're great. And please say hi to Pops. Please say hi to everybody for me.
Will do. Thanks, Johnny.
Take care, brother. See you soon. Thanks, guys.
Oh, I gotta ask, why don't they just do the mouth redoing, like they did with Henry Cavill's lip? I mean, that seemed to work so well for Justice League. So
just had to throw in the Snyder Justice League jab, didn't you?
That's not on Snyder. That was not on Snyder. That's just on
That's the Justice League.
Yeah. Did you see someone put? Oh, it's Cavill's mouth, Sonic's mouth, and something else. Something else came out where somebody's mouth was CGI'd, and it was like the holy trilogy
terrible.
of the trilogy of mouths or something like, or Trinity. Excuse me, Trinity of mouths. All right, Tony and I are gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Folks.
If you slow down for a second, take your time. You know I'm yours if you remember that you're mine. And when everybody's telling me I have no time, I prove them wrong again. 'Cause yeah, I might be all that you get. Yeah, I guess this might well be it. But heaven knows I've tried. No, my hands won't be tied down.
All right, Brian, I know you did not get a chance to watch, but I was excited that SNL was back this weekend. I only had a chance to watch the beginning, kind of the cold open, as it were. It was interesting, though. They did the long kind of take in the beginning with the debate, and they introduced Jim Carrey as Biden and did that whole thing. It was okay, but I'll tell you what, man, I think there's been a bad look in society right now. You know, I've been poking fun at the president and making jokes about him sick, but there's a lot of people who are like wishing death upon this man, and I feel like they were doing that on SNL as well. Like they did like a whole pause thing, and they were like, you know, karma and science, if they could come together on this that would be great, you know, and all this, and it's like, wow, we're really advocating that this guy should be dead. So I don't know if that's a good take. I don't necessarily agree with that comedy, even though I'm not a big fan of the man. But
Sure.
otherwise, you know, Chris Rock opened up with his monologue, and there were, of course, president jokes and COVID jokes and all that stuff. What you think? It was interesting to see people like in band wearing masks, you know, while he was doing his monologue, and then the people in this, they did have like a crowd there. The people right in front of him were all first responders, they said, so I thought that was a nice move by them.
Nice.
So yeah, you know, it seemed like your same old SNL for the most part, but you know, little differences like that I picked up on. I didn't get to watch the whole episode. I do want to see how they did, you know, weekend update, things like that, if that was a little different. And I did notice, I think it was Cicely Strong, we had said wasn't going to be on set, so they did already have like a thing where she kind of like just popped in like a bubble and said something through the show, whatever. So that was interesting. You know, it was all right though. It's good to have that show back. I feel like whenever I get a chance to watch that show, it makes me feel like a little bit of normalcy. So I was glad to have it back in the studio. Yeah.
Agreed.
And then, yeah. So hopefully you'll check it out and see what you think as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Otherwise, I had a chance to watch the Walking Dead season finale, which was supposed to happen back in April. They only had one episode left. It was most of the way filmed, and then they got shut down for COVID. So we had to wait 6 months. Yeah, 6 months to get the Walking Dead finale, but it was here finally. You know, I'm in now that I know that the show's done. Like, this makes me feel better about the show, in a way. Because I'm like, cool, we know there's an end in sight now. And this was fine. It was whatever. It was a typical Walking Dead finale. They... Spoiler alert if you want to watch it, if you're still watching the show, but they killed off a main character who'd been on there for a couple seasons, main kind of bad guy, kind of closed the door on one story, and they continue to just kind of reintroduce a few characters here and there. They brought on a new character the last episode before the finale that they call Princess. She's pretty good. I'm looking forward to where she goes. They introduced some guy with a hoodie and a mask on with blades. I don't know, like a hoodie ninja. I don't know what the hell he is. At the end of the episode, they go to this place, which I read from the comics is called the Commonwealth. There's all these guys that look like stormtroopers, like show up around them and swarm them. So that's going on. So it's like they closed the door, but they also opened up. It's like any other Walking Dead finale. Like we kind of closed one story, but we're opening up a whole other thing. The most interesting thing was that they reintroduced Maggie. They brought her back, even though she was gone. I guess because that shitty show she was on got canceled. So she's like, hey, can I get some Walking Dead money back? So she's back, and then Kevin Carroll, who I think is a great actor, he was on one episode of the season earlier with Michonne. There was like one episode where he was on and then gone. So he was back as well, and he was great. We loved him on Leftovers, you know. So he's good. That's a good addition to the show if they're going to use him for the last little bit. The interesting thing is they announced they're doing 6 bonus episodes kind of to link season 10 to season 11. And I guess because of the decision to end it with season 11, that's why they're doing it. So technically, I think we're getting like 30 more episodes of Walking Dead before it's finally gone. So they're doing like 6 bonus episodes of this season. Then they're going to do 2 parts of the final season, like 12 and 12 or something like that. So yeah, so it's still not going anywhere, I think, until 2022 at the earliest. But either way, I guess I'm going to just finish it out. You know, I've been watching it this long, I might as well stick with it.
You have to. You almost have to at this point.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right, jumping onto our casting couch.
Welcome to the Take Two Casting Couch. Sit back and get comfortable. Oh, yeah.
Well, don't jump on it. It's so hard. Jesus Christ.
That's true.
All
Shouldn't
right.
jump on the couch. I feel like yelling at my kids.
What do you got for me?
Super High is a movie that'll now be starring Common, Craig Robinson, and Andy Samberg. This is about 3 guys who find this special weed that when they smoke it, it gives them superpowers.
You know, you need a good like weed comedy every couple of years. Why not?
Yeah, it's not my favorite genre, but for some reason that sounds like I like Craig Robinson and Sandberg, and Common's usually fine in his stuff, so that could be good. House of Dragon has cast their lead, Viserys Targaryen. They have cast Paddy Considine.
Oh, okay. I like him.
From Third Day and Outsider. Yeah, he's currently on the Third Day, which we're watching. Are you caught up on Third Day?
I'm 2 behind. I need to catch up. So
I purposefully have been waiting because I kind of wanted to watch them in a row. A couple.
yeah. Once we finish it up, we'll definitely have a review.
Oh yeah. I'll catch up in time for the finale. But yeah, there's your House of Dragon. There's your lead. He's going to play the Mad King, right? Isn't that who that is?
I suppose so. I don't know. I'm not as deeply
Viserys?
into the background info on Game of Thrones as others. So yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Gotcha. My Son is we're remaking the French thriller My Son, and they've cast James McAvoy and Claire Foy. I like both of them as actors.
Mm-hmm.
The Last Son of Isaac LeMay is going to be a Western action film. We've got Thomas Jane, Sam Worthington, and Heather Graham all in this.
Dang.
Not a bad cat. When I say Heather Graham, what movie do you think of?
Swingers.
Really? Oh, okay. I thought for sure you were going to go the porn movie. Why can't I think of the name of it?
Boogie Nights, yeah. That's
Yeah,
a close
Boogie
second.
Nights, yeah,
That's
yeah.
a close second, but for some reason I love that scene in Swingers where he has to call and leave for the message, over and over.
Yeah. I always
great
think
scene.
Austin Powers for part 2 for some reason. And I feel bad because she's done better jobs. All right, Swan Song is an Apple original film that has just booked Mahershala Ali and Naomi Harris. That's a loaded cast. Army of the Dead Lost Vegas, the anime series with that Zack Snyder is putting together at some point in his life. Here's your cast list. You've got Christian Slater, Joe Manganiello, Vanessa Hudgens, Christina Wren, Harry Lennox, and Jenna Malone, just to name a few.
Okay. You had me at Vanessa Hudgens, so.
You're welcome. And lastly for me, Apple TV. Here's your Apple TV correspondents. They're doing a musical comedy. And their cast list, Keegan-Michael Key, Kristen Chenoweth, Alan Cummings, Fred Armisen, Jane Krakowski, and Dove Cameron.
Ooh, okay. What is this called?
It is not announced yet. We just know we're getting a
just
musical
some
comedy
kind of musical.
from the Apple
Okay.
on the old Apple TV. So that'll be a correspondence we'll be doing eventually when that comes around.
Cool, cool.
Anything
Okay,
off the couch?
I had a couple, yeah. Zac Efron. Zac Efron has been cast in the Firestarter remake that Blumhouse is trying to get going. This is the, of course, old Stephen King project back in the day. Who was Drew Barrymore was in it, right? The little kid.
Yeah.
This was like a late 80s, early 90s movie. So they're doing a remake of it,
Okay.
and Zac Efron has been cast, they said, probably as the father role. It has not been, confirmed, but so he'll probably have to deal with his little child being the Firestarter. So that could be interesting. I'd like to see him in a different role like that.
Exciting. Cool.
And then probably my favorite casting news of the week was Oscar Isaac has been cast to play Francis Ford Coppola, and Jake Gyllenhaal has been cast to play Robert Evans, famous producer in Hollywood. And this is for the Making of Godfather movie that Barry Levinson is making.
What?
Yes. So we're getting a Making of Godfather movie with Oscar Isaac as Francis Ford Coppola. I think that's amazing.
That sounds awesome.
Can't wait for that. And I forget what it is. There's another movie that's kind of doing the same thing. Is it about Chinatown maybe? Or one of those movies they're doing like a behind the scenes making of, and so Robert Evans' character is also in that movie. So I'm like, that would be brilliant if they just had Jake Gyllenhaal play that same role in numerous movies, like make his own little cinematic universe, the Robert Evans verse.
Oh yeah.
Shaken, not stirred.
And now it's time to tell everyone what's in the glass.
All right, tell me if you've done the Old Ox Brewery. Have you checked them out?
Yeah, oh yeah, yep. They are not far from my house.
I had the feeling that you did. Have you had their biggest, blackest porter?
No, that sounds scary.
It is. It is 11.4%, and I tried it the other day.
Ooh.
It is that dark porter that you think of, and it was really good. Dangerously good, especially for being an 11%er.
Okay.
I highly recommend checking out the biggest, blackest from Old Ox.
Oh,
it was good, man.
Okay. Yeah,
there's not a lot. It's a porter. Yeah.
Yeah, porter double 11.4%. You said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looks good. Looks very big and black, so I like it. And you forgot to mention it's currently on tap at the White Oak Tavern. What?
It's big and black. That's why I like it. So you got me.
There's the title of the episode right there. I gave it to you.
Good old buddy. All right, that's where I tried it. I was at the White Oak Tavern in Elk Ridge, and that's where I tried it. So there you go. Okay, moving on to trailer talk.
So I was wondering what movies are coming out soon. Oh look, a new trailer. Talking trailers with Trailer Talk.
All right,
I'm losing it, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm losing
That's
it this
all right.
morning.
That's all right.
Not
Couple big trailers. We kind of mentioned the one earlier, Borat 2. What did you think about finally seeing some footage from Borat 2? We've been talking about it for a while, and then all of a sudden this week they're like, "Hey, here's a trailer for it, and it's coming out before the election."
So it opens up with him saying 14 years ago, alluding to when the first movie came out. And I hate to do that snooty thing like, well, I've matured in my last 14 years, but this didn't. I was just like, meh.
I kind of feel that way too. Yeah, I kind of feel that way too. And I posed a question to our buddies over at the Next Best Picture podcast about this, because I said, is this going to hurt his Oscar chances with this coming out and Trial of Chicago 7 around the same time? If you remember in years past, that hurt Eddie Murphy. Remember when he had Dreamgirls and Norbit, and that kind of tanked his Oscar, potential. So
yes.
Is this going to be the same thing for him? I think so. They said they think it actually enhances it, but because Borat, the original one, was like an Oscar-nominated movie, but I just don't think that lightning is going to strike again, because I don't think this looks as original. I don't think it looks as funny. And like you said, we've matured, we've already seen this. Like, it's time to do something different. I don't know.
I'm curious why he went back to this well. He hit Les Mis and surprised people. And granted, that was 8 years ago. I get it. But then showed it was like, oh, he's not just that sticky guy that just does this goofy character. And then what was the Spy? The Spy?
Yeah, The Spy. Yeah, we like that. Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah, and he was really good and gave you something dark and something dramatic. And then right back to Borat. So
yeah, I get it. They're trying to be
curious
funny and of the moment.
Yeah.
I get it, but I don't think it's a good move for him, and I think he's above it now. So I don't know, but it comes out October 23rd on Amazon Prime, and I'll probably watch it. So we'll have a review.
All right, I'm gonna shock you right now.
Okay.
We have 2 more trailers to discuss, and I'm gonna tell you right this moment, I will be watching both.
Really? Okay. So Craft Legacy. What'd you think about that?
Oh, it looks so creepy good. I don't know why. I was like, this looks great. I'm in on it. Really gross opening scene with her in class. Felt really bad for her. For having that scenario play out. I was like, oh, that's a major bummer for her. But I don't know. I remember the original Craft, and I liked it. I thought it was a creepy movie, and this looks like it's next level.
See, I prefer my original Craft to be like creamy, so I like to make it with butter and milk. Oh, we're talking about a movie?
Fire tonight, folks.
Oh, we're talking about a movie.
Fire.
Craft Legacy. I thought that was a new macaroni and cheese we had. I don't care about this movie at all. I have no nostalgia for the first one, and I didn't think this looked that great. It looked like something on the CW that I wouldn't watch. So, hot take, I guess. I don't know, but I know Craig's probably yelling at me right now because I think he loves The Craft as well. But that was just not one of those movies that hit for me back in the day. So I don't know. Also, same thing with the other movie you alluded to, and that is Witches, which perfect synergy, can we say, because we dropped our Robert Zemeckis spotlight this week. So awesome.
Boom.
But Witches is dropping on HBO Max, kind of in a stunner, October 22nd. We didn't even know this was happening. And all of a sudden they're like, boom, here's the trailer. This is coming out like in a couple weeks. They're doing this Netflix style, like here's a trailer, it comes out in 2 weeks. But what did you think about the Witches remake?
I thought that it looks like my daughter's going to be in on it, so therefore I'm going to watch it.
Okay, yeah, I'm probably with that. I think it looks like a family fun Halloween thing. Like I probably will watch it as well, especially since it's gonna be on HBO. I think that's a smart move because I don't think I would go see it in the theater. But again, I don't have really nostalgia for the original. I know Craig side texts me and loves the original, and I guess I'm just not there. So it's on Netflix. I may have to revisit the original before I watch the new one just to see the difference.
Craig side texted?
Can you believe that?
At some point, we need to do an Anne Hathaway career breakdown. Like, just because it's on my mind with Sacha Baron Cohen. Like, the choices she makes in her career.
Let's book it. Next month, we have an opening. Thanks. Release date changes.
I'm down. I'm down to spotlight her just so that we can literally deep dive into... Yeah. I'm very curious why she went this route. She went, again, really weird. Les Mis again, and then maybe that was it. Maybe something was in the water.
Yeah,
but then she does.
I don't know, because I know a lot of people don't like her. I know a lot of people don't like her as Catwoman, but I'm fine with her Catwoman. I think it's good.
Oh yeah, I liked her a lot as Catwoman. I thought it was solid. She did that crappy outer space movie. What was it? Interstellar. That was bad. We just lost listeners. All right, well, that's it for our trailer talk. Just 3 quick hitters. I guess we'll be watching some... between the two of us, we'll be checking them out. No, I don't want to watch Borat. No, I'm not saying that. I don't want to watch it.
You're going to watch it.
Crap.
At least it looks okay, kind of unique with the daughter. I'll give it that. Like, bringing in a daughter, maybe that'll make it fun. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. All right, taking a break. Be right back. Superhero Secret Cinema this week. Was this a challenge for folks? Hawkeye, Falcon, Wasp, Aldrich Killian, and Alfred Pennyworth. Didn't get a ton of response. Sam even admitted that he was stumped. We missed out on some of our regulars we didn't hear from. Now, we did get some winners. MDX Pods, they nailed it. Netflix and Swill, they nailed it. The answer was Hurt Locker, folks. Yeah. Hurt Locker was your answer.
Bart also responded. He did on the Insta story, so he also got it right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
gotcha.
We don't want to leave old Bart. He's got to hear his name every week. So, yeah, I was surprised because I thought it was going to be harder than it was. I felt like some of the responses came quicker than I thought, and I was throwing in that Alfred there as a hope. I was hoping to kind of throw some people off with that Alfred not mentioned because that's just the voice of Alfred in the Lego movie. Ray Fiennes, yeah. So,
well, there it is, folks. Tune in every Saturday night for our Superhero Secret Cinema and join along and play. And guys, if you don't know, you're still allowed to comment and be like, "Wow, this is a tough one, guys," but just want to let you know I'm still listening and playing along. That way, we at least know you're out there. I don't know.
Yeah, comment. Let us know. Play along, because otherwise we're going to put this one. We're going to retire it with the box office. We're going to keep retiring.
Let's go with the box office. All right, time for some Hollywood news.
In the news. All right, let's start with the big news of the week, and this is the Regal closures. They announced temporarily closing 536 theaters in the U.S., again, due to continued revenue loss of COVID-19. Cineworld, their parent company over in the UK, is also closing 127 theaters there. Huge. I saw estimated 40 to 45,000 jobs being lost because of this. Man, that does not bode well for the movie industry.
No. Because what is Regal? Are they third overall?
They're second.
Second overall?
Behind AMC. Yeah, I think they're second.
Oy. That's a sad one. That's a sad one.
It is. It is. Because, we had a decent summer once everybody was able to do the drive-ins and stuff, but I think come November, you're not going to have that around anymore. Most of those are going to shutter, too, again.
Sure.
So that's another thing. We're going to have nothing. So I think we're going to have to see more movies just go in PVOD. At some point between now and January, I think you're going to have to see a couple other big titles just drop.
We're seeing the change in the industry. We are living it. History books many moons from now will write about, 2020, back when the industry changed. I'm curious, how much will we now get towards that PVOD? How much will we go there? Like, when things are back to normal, if we ever can get to back to normal, will studios be like, you know what? I think we're okay with this film, PVOD, this film, theater release. We might get more of a divide on that, and maybe even more product.
I think it has to deal with the tentpoles and the budgets. Those big movies, they're going to continue to hold for the theatrical experience. If they're spending that much money on them, they have to put them there. So maybe it'll be like back in the day when people used to go to the movies, they would dress up. It was like an occasion, you put on a suit and tie. Like, it was like a big deal. It was more like theater is now. And maybe we're going to get to that point where it's like, oh, this is a special occasion. We're going to the movies for only the second time this year. And maybe that's where we're headed again. I don't know.
Now that I
but yeah, to piggyback on that news, some other release date changes. Dune, or Dunk as it's known from its trailer, has moved from October of this year all the way to December. Or no, I'm sorry, I said that backwards. It moved from December of this year to October of next year, so almost a full movement on Dune. Why make that whole deal of releasing the trailer and make a big thing if you were just going to release date 2 weeks later? That's stupid.
See, we got the trailer with what do we go to see? Tenet. We got that teaser, and then I guess they were just like, all right, let's see how it does, and it did okay, and they were like...
Yeah, that's true. They were just pot committed on Tenet, yeah. As everyone else was, too. Yeah. No Time to Die also moves from November of this year to April of 2021, so basically a full year from when it was originally supposed to come out. That and Black Widow are like a full year. And then also Fast 9 had to move because it was originally in that April spot. So now it's moving to May of 2021. So again, a full year almost from when these movies were supposed to come out. It's like 2020 is just like a lost year in film. It's crazy. I really, really am going to be interested to see how these Oscars play out.
That's going to be a whole separate, conversation for sure. I distinctly remember, I think it was like episode like 186, 188, like 20 weeks ago when we were like, man, the fall is going to be loaded. Once this virus stuff lifts, man, so all these movies got pushed to the fall. It's going to be the best time to go to the films. And now look, all the ones that pushed to the fall, now they're just pushed a full year. So 2021 is going to be loaded. It's going to be the best time to go to the movies. We're going to have so much fun. I just jinxed it. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's knock on wood. You're right, because if that's true, I mean, we're going to be at the movies every week, like multiple times possibly. Like, there's not going to be open dates in the calendar for all these movies. So that may be a cool side effect, is that next year will be an awesome year in film. We'll see. Cobra Kai. Fans of Cobra Kai have obviously responded well to its dropping on Netflix. They've already renewed it for Season 4 before Season 3 has even premiered. So Season 3 they have set as a January 21 premiere, and they've already renewed Season 4. So good on them. However, Glow was canceled at Netflix after already being renewed and partially shot. They already started filming this.
How weird is that?
And they decided to scrap it and just,
I'm just with you. I'm saying, how weird is that they've already started? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they started filming it, and then now they've scrapped it and said, oh, well, and that was supposed to be the last season. It's like, why wouldn't you commit to finishing that show? I don't get that, especially for the fans of it. They want to get that closure. That's weird, because I know that show is pretty popular, so...
Yeah.
Sorry, fans of the Glow.
Yeah, you can hear Craig crying. That's our fourth time mentioning Craig today.
He probably doesn't even listen anymore.
I liked Glow, and it was fun, and I was looking forward to the wrap, and that they knew they were wrapping. But you're right, something's got to be going on, because they've already started. Now, studios are filming. Like, stuff is back. Things are starting to film again. So,
Well, what I read was it's just production costs because of COVID or whatever. Like, they don't want to take on these bigger, like, I guess this was a bigger budget product for them. I don't know. So.
It's fake wrestling. They're not even real wrestlers. Sorry.
It's real to me. All right, we're getting a live-action Lion King sequel directed by Barry Jenkins. What?
This is weird.
Wow.
Now, is this...
This is weird, right?
Is this going to be the... What was it? Back to Pride Rock? Or back... What was the...
I hope he does 1.5, where it's just Timon and Pumbaa.
That's fine.
The whole time. Talking about the first movie. Remember that? That's what I want to see Barry Jenkins do. I want it to be like Beale Street with Timon and Pumbaa. If Pride Rock could talk or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting choice, though, right?
Hey, I've got your series of films. I'm going to get Jon Favreau to direct the first one and Barry Jenkins for the second. Are you on board? But then it's remakes of Lion King. That's so wild to me.
Maybe we can get Barry Jenkins to do that long gestating elf sequel we've been waiting on. Because that was a Jon Favreau movie, too.
No, that hard pass. What? No. All right.
Except Elf will now have to be gay and be jerked off on the beach. Anyways.
And why would he wipe his hand in the sand afterwards?
I don't know. All right. Rick Moranis was attacked this week on the streets of New York. Did you see this?
So randomly, too.
Did they catch him? I didn't see. This happened on Thursday morning. He just got sucker punched walking down the street. Yeah. And it was caught on camera. This is ridiculous. 2020, you have gone too far. I hate you.
He was like, "Are you the keymaster?" Yeah, they got the picture of the guy out there. Like, they got it straight on video, and they got his mugshot all up where you can find him. But that was really weird. It was really weird. Like, do we think the guy knew Moranis, or he was just some weirdo?
No, I think it was just probably some crazy. Yeah,
happened to be one of the most beloved people in Hollywood.
Yeah. Did you see that Ryan Reynolds commercial where he like brought him out? That was funny. Yeah. Lastly, for me, South Park did their 1 hour pandemic special this week. Okay. And it got the best ratings that South Park has had in 7 years.
No kidding. Wow.
I will tell you, I watched it. And I haven't watched South Park in probably more than that. So it was funny. I wanted to see how they, were going to skew the situation. It was okay. It had good comedy to it, but overall it was just fine. I guess I was a little lost, or like you said with Borat, had matured since the last time I watched South Park. So, but it had some funny moments. And did you see that they did a tie-in with, was it the Broncos? With like the cutouts of the characters in the stadium?
Yeah. They did a whole section. It was the entire town of South Park. It was the whole section.
So yeah, it was kind of fun. Whatever. If you get a chance and you're into that kind of thing, check it out. It's an hour long. I think it's on HBO Max already too. So
I'm going to segue from your ratings to the sports to the cutouts back to the ratings. Ready? So speaking of the cutouts, did you see what Texas did?
No, I don't think so.
They did an entire section of Matthew McConaughey because he's always, he's at all the Texas games or whatever. He's their biggest, fan. He's now a professor at their college because he went there. The entire section was Matthew McConaughey, but every movie character he's ever done.
Ooh, all right.
So it was all from other.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat. Now,
did they have one though of him rolling the booger in his face in the Cadillac commercials? That's my favorite Matthew McConaughey role. That, or every time the one commercial comes on. Every time the one commercial comes on, I'm like, man, it looks fun to go ice fishing with Matthew McConaughey. You just sit in the back of the car and wait for the flag to come up. It's amazing. It looks so much fun.
Now, circling that back to the ratings, have you seen the sports ratings? Like the NBA Finals, NHL Finals? Like,
is that where LeBron was going? Was he going to check the ratings when he left the court the other?
What a piece of yes, the ratings. Hey, Kobe never left the court. Michael Jordan never left the court.
He ain't no goat. He ain't my goat. Hashtag no goat.
Stand there, jackass. Stand there and take your loss, you son of a... Now all of a sudden I like Jimmy Butler. Never thought I'd say that. Anywho, all the NBA Finals, lowest of all time. NHL Finals were down like 40%, lowest in like 20 years.
Really?
Obviously, MLB is still going, but they haven't been great. And then even the football, even like Monday night and Sunday night footballs have not been great. And I think I sent you the gift. The Thursday night ratings are so bad. If they're down, they're lowest they've ever had.
Really? Okay, that's funny because
Very
I feel like
interesting to me.
Baseball was weird just because of the shortened season and whatever, but it was pretty much normal otherwise. But then NBA, NHL, like I never really got into it enough to like. It just didn't feel like playoffs, or the stakes didn't feel like they were there for me. You know what I mean? So,
Sure.
but NFL, it
Yeah.
seems like a normal season to me. Like, yeah, there's not as many people in the stands, whatever, but otherwise, it seems pretty much like a normal season. So I'm in. I'm still watching it just as much as I was. I don't get the change there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the Browns are 3-1, folks. Haven't you heard? It's 2001 all over again.
This week's the only unique week where we had to move the Titans game, and they've had to move games. But other than that, yeah, NFL has been for the most part the same. I do like the expanded playoffs for hockey, even for baseball. Like try and make it more of a challenge to a degree. Sure. But anyway, I was just circling back to the Rays. The only other piece of news that I had.
Oh, I was gonna say before you moved on, did you see? I was still doing Take Two Sports for a minute.
Sorry.
The Browns, they announced a logo change. You know, Browns, I guess, is being insensitive now, so now they're going to be Cleveland Steamers. They're embracing Odell Beckham being on the team. So,
right on my chest, would you?
Yes. Oh, also, I had a Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
What was I going to say about the Matthew McConaughey joke now? Damn it, I was going to have another Matthew McConaughey joke, and I forgot. Go ahead, move on.
The only other thing I had is that Joaquin Phoenix and Rooney Mara had a baby.
Oh, yeah, they named him River.
How sweet. They named it River Phoenix.
Yeah, that is nice. It's a nice nod. I was making a joke there, but I think it was fun. That was a nice nod.
Here's the part about it that I hated was a few of the millennials online were just like,
Who's River?
Why would they name it? Exactly. Yeah. They're like, River? What a dumb name. Why would you name your baby River?
Oh, that was the other Matthew McConaughey joke I had. I just thought of it. I was going to say that my other favorite role is when he runs in the woods and then gets in his car all sweaty. No one does that, jerk off. I hate those Cadillac commercials. Sorry. But yeah, good job, River.
Dumb. Yeah, we're done. Done with the Hollywood news. Let's hurry up and get out of here. DC discussion.
And now we discuss DC.
I have nothing for DC except for release date changes. So more release date changes. Batman is now moving further away from us, from October of 21 to March of 22. Flash has moved from June of 22 to November of 22, which that was supposed to be Shazam's release date, not Sham. And now that is moving all the way to June of 23. So we're not going to see Shazam 2 until June of 23. And then they took Black Adam off the calendar completely as of now. So no release date for that.
That's crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy too. Like we were just saying with Dune. Like they just put all that out. They had that DC fandom thing. And they're like, "We're back, baby. Here we go." Then all of a sudden, we're moving it all of it a year.
Here's my big concern right now with a lot of this stuff. I mean, you're seeing these production delays now because of this. So pretty soon we're going to get to the point where we have nothing else to watch that's completed. If this continues on, you know, we're already seeing that on the TV side, where a lot of these TV, the studios, the stations, whatever, are purchasing content that's already been shown elsewhere and trying to play it off as new stuff. So how long do we have original movies even still made before we run out of those, you know?
Netflix original, Back to the Future. You guys haven't seen this one. It's Netflix original. The only things I had is that Melissa Benoist, we announced last week that Supergirl will be done after this upcoming season, but she won't be. So if you like her on The Flash and some of the other shows, you might see her character jump back in for the Superman and Lois. Those couple of shows she'll stick around for. And we didn't mention this last week, buddy. I was saying the next step for them is to finish up The Flash. Like, how many more seasons of that do we want? Because it's going on 7?
One. This needs to be it. They should have already announced, like, hey, we're done.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that one as well. They should, so maybe since not, give me just one more and that's it. Let's wrap that one up. And then I know you saw this, the producers of the Joker movie. This is the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie. So a couple of them come out and said they really want to get involved in doing a Mr. Freeze style origin film. Your thoughts on that?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd watch it. That's fine. Because I think there is some story there between like him and his wife, like that, if they played that side of the story up. And we haven't really seen that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that'd be cool.
DC's done. Marvel Minute.
And now, your Marvel Minute.
Ooh, this is the strangest news I've seen in a while. Jamie Foxx is returning as Electro for Spider-Man 3. If you hear all the question marks in my voice, it's because who thought this was a good idea? I don't understand this at all. Please tell me why it's good.
All right, I will tell you why it's good. And this is all rumory. Thank you, we got this covered. But WandaVision, Wanda is going to mess up the timeline. between
no, I
Captain
get
America
that.
going back.
Yeah, I get
Okay.
that. But this better just be like cameo style then. I don't want him
Yeah.
to be like main character.
No, but with that, Spider-Man 3 is going to be all messed up where we're going to see Garfield, we're going to see Tobey Maguire, we're going to have like these other, people that are in
Thomas
that
Hayden
universe.
Church is just waiting by the phone.
Oh, God.
He's like, give me that Sandman money back.
And people were like, if you watch, he doesn't technically die. So maybe he's just sent to a different universe for Jamie Foxx, for Electro. So then Doctor Strange, the Mystery of Madness shop, or whatever it's called.
Magical Mystery Tour, yeah.
Yeah, that is then going to need, that's what that movie will be about, him fixing what Wanda messes up and restoring the multiverse, Marvel's multiverse, if you will.
Whatever, man. Whatever. They're just trying to, they're trying to do their own Flashpoint. I get it. It's fine. Whatever. I guess we'll find out in December whenever they decide to drop WandaVision what's going on.
Right. You're right. It is like their version of Flashpoint. What doesn't help all that nonsense that's been going on about Kevin Feige stealing all the info and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's different. All right. What else you got? Anything good?
The only other thing was they cast Kamala Khan for Miss Marvel show on Disney Plus. We had a rumor that it was going to be, what's her name, Vishwanathan, whatever her name is, and it is not her, so it doesn't matter if I say her name right. It is Iman Vellani, and she is a first-time actress, unknown completely, no credits to her name. So that's interesting to go with a complete unknown as a lead in your, big important series they're trying to launch here with Miss Marvel. Because I don't know if you've been paying attention. They've made her like the head of all that game that's out now, the Avengers game, and all that advertising. So they really have high hopes for this character. So this seems kind of risky to put it on a first-time actress.
Risky girl, especially from someone whose Letterboxd gave the Captain Marvel movie a rating of only 2 stars.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Apparently, folks went back into her socials and they found her Letterboxd account and saw that she rated it 2 stars. Didn't love it.
Wow, I'm gonna go find her and give her a follow on the Letterboxd.
Might be a little awkward, but 100% pal. A risky casting. They got to believe in this girl somehow because you're right. Miss Marvel's a huge fan favorite. I know tons of folks are big fans of hers in the comics, and she's going to be kind of championing going forward. Sure. Especially now that we don't really have Black Panther to be the leader of the Avengers. I think they're going to put things behind her. So
yeah, you got. I mean, with Tom Holland being in the universe still and still being young enough, they've got high hopes for him, and then this character. I really think they're going to move this forward, and then down the road, I think we're finally going to see a Miles Morales at some point too. So that's another one that's going to be. Yeah. But yeah, this is where the world is going too. Like we're all about diversity, inclusion, all that stuff. So this is a very important property for that.
According to Cosmic.com. I apologize. I don't remember the black actor's name on Stranger Things, but he is the front runner for Miles
Really?
Morales.
Okay. That's not who I would go with, but okay, that's interesting. I mean, I guess he kind of looks the part based on what they did with Spider-Verse and the way it was, the artwork was done and stuff. So okay.
Yeah. Again, that's even more rumory than the WandaVision stuff.
Sure.
That's all I got. I don't have anything to add to Marvel, so let's wrap things up, man. Let's go forward.
Going forward.
All right, going forward, I actually have a decent amount of stuff here. These are listed as theatrical releases, but I don't know how true that is. Well, at least the one is for sure. I know that. War with Grandpa comes out on the 9th. That's this weekend. So I guess that's our big theatrical release for the weekend. And then it also listed American Pie Girls Rule. But I'm guessing that's just going to be a PVOD because there's no way people are going to go see that in the theater, are they?
I wouldn't think
that's
so.
the 9th film in the series. Did you know that? That's crazy.
9th? Wow.
Yeah, they've done 5 of those like American Pie Presents like spin-off
Straight
kind of
to
movies.
yeah. Was Eugene Levy in all of them?
So yeah, I guess it is going to be a DVD then, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. On the 6th, we're getting our first look at the Prime Blumhouse thing that they're doing, and this is the 2 movies, Black Box and I made you watch at least one of those trailers and talk about it, so I'm going to jump on and watch those and hopefully have a review for next week. I already told you Save Yourselves. That is another one I want to watch maybe for next week. Spontaneous, that's also this week. We talked about that in trailers a few weeks ago. I'm not sure where that's coming. I guess that's just regular PVOD. So I don't know if we'll be able to track that down or not. On the 8th, Roy, hope you're listening, CW returns with Supernatural's final season. So that's cool. The movie I will not be reviewing next week is Hubie Halloween for Netflix. That comes out this week. I'm assigning that to you because I do not care about that movie at all.
Hubie Halloween. Okay.
There you go. Charm City Kings. This is a new documentary that was a big buzz in the Sundance and stuff earlier this year. It's coming to HBO Max this week. I think I want to check that out. It's about like street kind of bike gangs in Baltimore or whatever, like the motorcycle kind of kids that drive all over. Yeah, I might have to check that out. It's on HBO Max this week.
Okay.
40-year-old version. We talked about that in trailers a few weeks ago. That's coming to Netflix this week. We have The Haunting of Bly Manor, also on Netflix. I'm definitely going to watch that. We have The Right Stuff hitting Disney Plus. Oh, man, it's a busy week, right? This weekend, we're going to get the final episode of The Boys, which I'm all caught up, so we're ready to talk about that next week. I hope you're caught up as well.
Oh, that last episode was mind-blowing.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it. Good job. Also, Room 104, one of my favorite shows, is wrapping up on HBO, so I will have thoughts on that next week. Wolf of Snow Hollow is a new movie hitting PVOD. This is the follow-up from Jim Cummings, and he was one of my favorite up-and-coming directors. He directed Thunder Road. Last year I talked about it very highly, and I love that movie. Everyone should check out Thunder Road, but this is his next movie, so I'm going to check it out because I like his work. And this is the final performance on screen of Robert Forster as well, so that's another added bonus as to why to watch that.
Okay.
And then finally, Eli Roth returns with his History of Horror on AMC, so I didn't even know that was getting another season, but that's fun. It's a decent little show, kind of looking at different... I think they break it down into different genres. Last season it was like, all about witches of this episode, or all about this, or whatever, so kind of a fun little show they do on AMC during their horror month. So
I see.
It's a lot of stuff. So hopefully we'll have some time and have some good reviews for you next week.
Madison Pettis is in the Girls Rule American Pie.
Oh, okay.
Her dad is
John Pettis.
So close. Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Oh, really? That's funny.
That's the Rock's daughter is starring it, and it looks like they've replaced the Eugene Levy role. He's not in it, but replaced him with Barry Bostwick.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Dustin Diamond. That's what I was going to say, but okay.
So close. So that would be disgraceful. Yeah. That would be more disgraceful to Eugene Levy than Barry Bostwick. For Take Two Podcast, folks, you've got Patreon that should be dropping this Friday, but you have to be a Patreon subscriber as low as $1 all the way up to $15 a month. I've been failing one of our Patreons. He knows this. We've texted on the side. I promise you I'm making it up to you this week. But for the rest of you folks, jump on, man. $1. That's it. And then you get to get all this fun content. If you do a little more than that, we got merchandise for you. We've got stuff we can send you out. And then we got some fun little games and things. We can do some sticky stuff if you do the higher tier levels. Don't forget your poll drops on Thursdays. Make sure to retweet that. Tell your friends all about it. Vote. Comment below if you must. And then Saturday is your Superhero Secret Cinema. And that's it, man.
Yeah. Don't forget to play along on all of our socials. Comment, interact. I'm still doing horror. I'm hoping that now you're paying attention. You've unblocked that since it's October. And I hope you're... Some of my picks, I gave you a shout-out pick, so...
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I was waiting for that one. Now I can go back into hiding.
All right. I guess that's it. So for episode 208...
Oh, do it backwards. Yeah, do it back. You do it. Yeah.
For episode 208, this is Tony. Good night, everybody.
See ya.
Is that how we do it?
I guess so. Close enough.